Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachadini Nirvisesha Sunyavari Paskachade Satarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Go Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So what we're going to do today are two things. We are going to give you a quick tour of two of our temples in Italy. But the main purpose is that we're going to, it's a closeout, a cap after the Kartik season. How is that? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. But it's a closer for the Kartik mood. And then I have, from a long time ago, collected anecdotes, pastimes of Srila Gauranga Das Babaji. I think last Saturday or Sunday, I forget which day, but it doesn't matter. It was the disappearance day of Srila Gauranga Das Babaji. So these are the primary sources is Jayapataka Maharaj, the great hero of Bengal. He's been in Mayapur for so long. And the Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So those are the sources, primary sources. I picked up a few others along the way about Srila Gauranga Das Babaji. Such a unique personality. Okay, so there's that. Of course, I'm in my usual state of losing my voice. And let's see if I need anything else here. Anyway, you've seen this picture before because it was in the report on the midterm meeting in Milan, but this is our temple in Milano. It's a jewel. Next. And of course, this is the beautiful painted ceiling. You know, they're Italian. They're the home of Michelangelo. You've got our temple in Florence, the city of light, although they call Paris that too, was actually designed by Michelangelo. It's up on the hill. It overlooks the whole valley. That's another beautiful, anyways, we're off the track, but it's a museum now of all paintings, not all paintings, but all paintings by many of our artists. And it's got a whole Ram Lila wing, it's got a Vrindavan wing. It's gorgeous. Okay, next. We're going to zip through this. And this is the beautiful deities, Radharaman. Next. And this is the restaurant in Milan. It's an excellent location, center of town. It's a beautiful old building. Next. Here's the interior. Makes you wish you could order a pizza, doesn't it? Next. And they have a room. It seems a little darker than usual. Is there some reason for that? No, you guys haven't done it. It's just the way it is. Okay, so the They have outreach, Bhagavad Gita classes, seminars, so many different things. And it's handy because it's downtown Milan. So you can't really see there, but they've got Gauranga deities and a little stage. It's like our Krishna lounge in the back of the restaurant next. And this is our, it's the same setup. They have a retreat center outside. I think it says there, it's about an hour and a half out of Rome. And it's a beautiful rolling Italian countryside. There's a lot of what looked like grape groves. But you know what it actually is? Yeah. Kiwis. Didn't guess that, did you? It's kiwis. It's one of the prime sources of kiwis, which is an interesting thing. Go with the flow, whatever the market is. But on our property, this is, let's see if I can blind somebody with this. This is our temple here. And then this is our land that goes on for quite some time. It's all olive groves. And we actually produce our own big, succulent olives. Okay, next. And, you can guess because it said Kui. You walk under an arbor. It's got a nice citrus grove in front. It's very Mediterranean. And there's the temple. Next. And this is a beautiful guest house. Nice facility. Next. Yeah, and this you can see. The temple's back here. And this is through the olive groves. Next. And these are the beautiful deities. Sri Sri Nitai Sachinandana. Next. And this is a same thing. This is an apartment in the center of Rome. Very easy access for the people. And you can see beautiful Gauranga. And there it is. It's a nice setup. Nice little apartment. It's like a Krishna lounge program. Next. And this is the restaurant in the center of Rome. This is run by a private couple. Devotee couple. And it's first class. So there's the, okay, you got an idea. Nice restaurant. Next. Now, this is what I wanted to get to, was about Kartik and Damodar Vrata. So this is you can see this is Vatican City. It's its own country, actually. A little pocket in Rome. And this you can see from the old days, these are the giant walls, and this is into the Vatican City. It's the center of the Catholic Church, like our Mayapur. Next. And this is St. Peter's Square. There's a reason I'm showing you these things, not just tourists. It's very impressive. And give them credit for that. This is, you see, this is St. Peter's. This is the Samadhi of St. Peter, one of Jesus' disciples. You are my rock, upon you I shall found my church. So they say Jesus said to St. Peter. He was martyred, he was killed by the pagan Romans, and his body is supposed to be buried under this, it's a samadhi. And it's huge, it's impressive. So, here you get a sense. This is where the Pope comes out and speaks to the masses. And it's said that this circle, or here you see it again on either side, It's supposed to be the church reaching out and embracing the world. It's also set up to be, it's got these saints all around it, and you see all these columns. This is a person. See right there? Just to give you, these little dots are people, to give you an idea of the massive scale. And there's a point to that, which we'll get to in a second. But it also works at this obelisk, I don't know where they got it from, but it works like a sundial. Yeah, it's, works like a sundial. Next. So these are people. Just take in the scale of this thing. And yeah, same thing. You can see these tiny dots. This is the Basilica. These are those that St. Peter's Square. But you can these tiny dots are people. Next. Now this is inside. These are people. You can see how high it is. These are people here. All the light is natural light. It's designed in a way with windows and stained glass, and so it's all filled with natural light, and you get a deep sense of awe and reverence. You feel, ooh, next, I think the next says it, you get those Christian tracts, and we're little tiny dots, and, Jesus looks like, God looks, he never has a face, which is, God is all-seeing, but he has no eyes. He's all-knowing, he has no ears, he is, what is this, But, so that's how they present it. And you see these are people, and you see them here. So go back one slide. So there's a real, well, actually, we'll go forward. But just you get the scale. And it's a term used in religious or theology, a sense of creatureliness. That you feel like a small bug that could be, in front of the you better cooperate, you better surrender, you better bow down. And if you don't, you can be crushed like a bug and sent to burn forever in hell. All right, I'll cooperate. We had a guy here who showed up he was probably around 35, and the girl he was with, young lady, couldn't have been over 20 years old. And she seemed kind of skitterish, and he was a weird bird. You just got the vibe from it. So intelligent Dharma Setu called, maybe I called, I think Dharma called, because they said they were from Utah, and they knew our Utah temple. So we called the Utah temple, said, what's up with this couple? They said, keep them there, keep them there. That guy has kidnapped the girl, he's holding her by gunpoint, and he's taking her to Mexico to marry her. And the FBI, kidnapping and across interstate lines, you got to, keep him there. We have the FBI contact. They're going to come get the guy. And sure enough, it's a whole story. The guy escaped to the roof. Dharma Setu and I were trying to tackle him. It's a whole story, But the point is, that girl, did she want to marry him? Did she love him? As soon as we tackled the guy, he was on the roof. The FBI were out in front, and it was a whole thing, So it's never a dull moment in Krishna consciousness. So what did she do as soon as the gun You know, she was out of harm's way. She ran away from that guy as fast as she could. Now, it's an extreme example. But, you know, if somebody threatens you with burning forever, down, down, down in the lake of fire, you're going to burn, burn, burn in the lake of fire. You know, it's an old, you know, not a gospel, but, you know, well, I'm going to cooperate. But is it love? Is it a happy experience? No. So even though there's awe and reverence, and Prabhupada appreciated it, that at least there, you know, Aishwarya Bhav, it has a flavor of Vaikuntha. Okay, next. But this is sweetness. You never see pictures of baby Lord Vishnu. There's never any childhood pastimes of Lord Narayan. And there's always a sense of reserve, or dare I say, creatureliness, that I'm very small and the Lord is very powerful. But God, Prabhupada says, God, what is it from the Mahavakyam, their essential prayer, you know, give us this day our daily bread. Prabhupada said, well, you're recognizing the source. If God doesn't feed me, I'll die. I mean, people are fighting states. I think it's, well, let's just count. California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado. I've probably forgotten one. But the Colorado River, we get our water from the Colorado River. If there wasn't water in the Colorado, if the Colorado River didn't run in southwest United States, you wouldn't have Phoenix, you wouldn't have Tucson, you wouldn't have all of Southern California. It's semi-arid. And now they're all taking each other to court because there's not enough rain and the river's drying up. I think it's Lake Mead, one of the biggest lakes in the United States. Yeah, I mean, you see pictures. Google it when you get home. How it drops, you know, it's unbelievable. It's almost at the point that it can't produce any hydroelectric power. And you know why? There's no water, no rain. So, you know, that we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada says you can't eat nuts and bolts. So, okay, we appreciate that God give us this day our daily bread. But the mood in Vrindavan, why? Kartik season, Damodar, it begins with Mother Yasoda tying up baby Damodar. Why did Mother Yasoda tie up baby Krishna, other than Dravida? Come on, you know the answer. Why? I didn't ask you. Give somebody else a chance. It's only fair. Anybody else know? Jugali Kishore. Why did Mother Yasoda tie up baby Krishna? Huh? Yeah, she was worried. Yeah, he had thrown a tantrum. Why? And what was the result of that tantrum? Anybody know? Oh, come on. She put him down because the milk was boiling over. So she wanted to feed Krishna. She wasn't thinking, Krishna, feed me. She wanted to feed Krishna. And that milk was not ordinary milk, because somebody said stealing, I forget who. But she was worried that Krishna was going to become a juvenile delinquent who's showing tendencies, stealing milk from everybody, stealing sweets and muck and choy, stealing the butter in other people's houses. So to curb his criminal inclination, she has special cows who are fed special grass grown on Govardhan Hill to produce the best milk possible so that she can cook the best sweets to feed the baby Krishna so he'll stop his stealing. If you go to Natwar, where the Gopal deity from Chaitanya Charitamrita on Govardhan Hill, now he's called Natwar, but he's Gopal, that they can show you, if and when you visit India, especially in Rajasthan, where they have a noble lineage, but they can trace their lineage. And in many places in India, they can trace their line back to Bhadraj or some great sage, and that's the line, that's the Vamsa they're coming in. So these kings can trace back. This was the father of that, who was the father of that, who was the... And they go back, ages. In Natwar, where Gopal deity is from Vrindavan, top of the hill, Madhavendra, that Gopal... they have a whole wall as big as this altar, and they trace back the cows in Natwar all the way back to the cows in Vrindavan, Mother Yasoda's cows. So this ras, this, not that I'm dependent on God and God's, this is give me, I want. Whereas the mood in Vrindavan is, what does Krishna want? How can I please Krishna? And in that sweet, that's what because we want to wrap up here. When I was there, Prabhupada was in Detroit. It's a long story we don't have time for. When there was a priest who came, Monsignor somebody, I forget his name. He actually turned out to be a very nice guy. He arrived originally to challenge Prabhupada. And yeah, he showed up, it's a whole story. And he was quiet, and Prabhupada just expertly defeated all of his arguments. And the guy, you could see he turned. He began to, wait a minute, I'm in the presence of a genuinely saintly person. And his tone, his mood, his questions completely changed. When he left, he had a garland, he had a Bhagavad Gita, he had a box of prasadam, and I swear to you, as he left, he bowed, from the waist, he bowed and said, I feel like I've become one of your disciples. And he arrived challenging, very heavy. So that's a blissful, sweet story for some other time. But Prabhupada was simultaneously plying him with nice Mahaprasadam. Govardhan had arranged a nice big plate with ladus and, luglus and sandesh and three-tiered burfi, all kinds of far-out stuff. And Prabhupada kept telling the men, take. And to the man's credit, the priest's credit, he continued to take. The reason I tell this, the details, is because later on, after the guy softened up, he began inquiring. And he said, we only have these old women. We don't, you've got so many young people. What's your secret? And Prabhupada, with perfect theatrics, leaned back and said, I understand you have one ceremony, and you offer a dried wafer. He's talking about communion, and they offer those little, and they are little dry wafers. Prabhupada said, I understand you have one ceremony. You offer this dry wafer. Prabhupada said, you introduce these Bengali sweets, you'll get full attendance. I would have gone to Mass if I got a gulab jamun or a jalebi out of the thing. You know, when I was a kid, I would have lined right up. So this is and I took it metaphorically also. It's a dry process. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it calls the impersonalist like an oil cake with all the oil squeezed out. Whereas Bhakti, Bhav, Vrindavan mood, it's full of juice. It's full of life. It's full of love. It's full of reciprocation. So that's part of the theme of Kartik season, Damodar Lila. And the Catholics, to their credit, they recognize the source. They've got awe and reverence. And you know, and there's a little fear mixed in there for sure. But they don't have bhakti. Okay. I mean, they don't have intimate Braj Bhumi, 5 rasa bhakti. Okay, one last thing I want to tell this joke. Okay, that's all right. You can go to the other one. That's nice. I mean, here is Krishna being the servant of his devotees. You don't see that except for in Vaishnav Bhakti, and not just Bhakti, but Krishna Bhakti, and not just Krishna Bhakti, Dwarka. Well, you see it in Dwarka to some degree, but in Vrindavan is saturated with that Krishna serving his devotees. Okay, so I wanted to tell one joke. You may have heard it before, but this is for the ether world. The Pope, it's a joke, don't take offense. The Pope held a worldwide conference. So many different representatives of different religions. I mean, Christian, Pentecostals, Jewish, Muslim, Sufis, so many, Sikhs. And he also invited a Bhakta from Vrindavan, a Brajbasi scholar. And he invited him. And they all made presentations and speeches. And the Pope, to his credit, was deeply impressed by our Vrindavan Bhakta scholar. So he said, after the conference was over, he asked the Brajbasi, can you come back to my quarters? I want to talk more. I want to hear more. So when they were back in the Pope's private quarters, the Brajbasi noticed that the Pope had a gold phone. So he said, oh, what's that? And the Pope said, this is my private line to God. Directly, God picks up. And would you like to use it? But don't talk long. It's super expensive. Just, keep it quick. So Brajbasi, say, yeah. So, all he did was chant Brahma Samhita, a few sloks, Ishvara, Brahma, Krishna, Satchidananda, Advaita, Chutananda. He offered some nice Brahma Samhita prayers, put the phone down. And the Pope, he looked as, I'm sorry if I talked too long. And the Pope said, no, it's okay. It's going to be expensive. But, I'll sell a ring, we'll be okay. We'll cover it, $15,000 or something. It's a lot of money. So then later on, some time passes, the Pope is on a tour of India. And he goes to see his Brajbasi friend. We're almost done. He goes to see his Brajbasi friend. And when he's at the Brajbasi's house, eager to get some nice prasadam, he notices that the Brajbasi has a gold phone too. So he says, hey, you got a gold phone? He says, yeah, I put it in after yours. You want to use it? Pope said, "Oh, I got so many worries. I got these rascal priests and the Vatican Bank, and I got so many issues, you know. I got heretics, I got fanatics, and he gets on the phone and he talks. He talks, you know, our Brajbasi on the Pope's phone was on the phone 5 minutes. And he's on the phone, you know, a good half hour, pouring his heart out with all of his anxieties. And he puts the phone down and says, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry. You know, it must be $100,000. What to do?" The Brajbasi says, no, it's only 10 rupees. What? How is it possible? Let's say 100 rupees. How is it possible? 100 rupees is what? It's $20. $1. Yeah, you're right. How is it possible? So the Brajbasi says the reason it was so inexpensive is because in Vrindavan, it's a local call. Ha, 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 ha. I like it. And Prabhupada liked a good joke. So there it is. That God is a servant of his devotees, and the sweetness of bhakti, that's one of the points of the Kartik season. So it's impressive, the Vatican, but it doesn't have the sweetness of Braj Bhumi Bhakta. Okay, now we need to hit the house lights. Quick. And we're going to read. We don't need a fancy seat, but I am going to turn so I can face you. And I think you'll like this too. I hope.